welcome to Guerilla South Africa on One World Sports Radio. My name is Mpho, and we're bringing you the fourth day of the first Betway test between South Africa and Sri Lanka at Centurion. The lay of the land is Sri Lanka are trailing in the third innings of the match by 160. They have a lot of injuries, but we'll talk about that later. Let me introduce the team for this morning. That is, we've got Ravi Nair all the way from India and Otto Simon. I'm going to start with Ravi. Ravi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's been a wonderful 4 days that I've been here. But, of course, it's the injuries that I want to talk about, but we can talk about that later.
Yes, those injuries and the press conference that ensued last night, the talk of the town. Otto, how are you doing? And what are you expecting today?
I'm very well, thanks, Mpho and Ravi. Good to be with you guys again. Well, I'm expecting more Lungi and Gidi, and other bowlers, please be more like Lungi.
Spoken like a true
point of view. Definitely. Well, I suspect that I too am hoping that Sri Lanka is put out of its misery, because I don't think they can save this test, even if Pereira and Chandimal score centuries. They're still going to lose this test by a hell of a lot. They might as well lose it now and recover to lick their wounds, to be honest.
Look, I think, yes, Ravi?
The thing is, people play for pride, let's be honest. And the Sri Lankans will now be playing for pride. They'll be wanting to take chunks out of the South African bowlers if possible, just for the next test, just as South Africa have taken chunks out of their bowlers.
Yes.
Chandimal was limping almost as he walked down the stairs to the pitch. I don't know how long he'll be able to last.
Yes, well, it depends on how well the physio worked last night, and I think that's the one key thing that that Sri Lanka probably would have asked for, is the respite of a night's rest and the physio doing work on all the players that picked up niggles, just to at least have them come out to bat. But Grant Flower did mention that they effectively are 65 for 5. As the first ball is going to come in, Lungi Ngiti with 3 slips and a gully. It just goes outside the off stump. Otto, I'm going to rely on you on ball by ball after this one. Yeah, sure. But I just wanted to say, he mentioned that Dhananjaya De Silva, as we all know, will not bat again. And Lahira Kumara, he also mentioned, we saw him go out yesterday. Chances are won't bat again. And then he mentioned Kasun Rajita as well, who left early on yesterday. Will not bat again. So obviously, we're not counting our chickens before they're hatched, but it could be a situation where if the game's too far gone, South Africa might just need 5 more wickets to win this match.
Gidi now to the right-handed Chandimal. This one squirts off the outside edge straight to gully, and there's no run. And that one bounced before it reached gully. 65 for 2 in the 13th over.
The thing is that Chandimal is also walking wounded, as is Hasaranga. So those wickets, even if you don't get them, they're not going to be running quick singles or putting pressure on the fielders or anything. You know. Yep. So basically, Sri Lanka's batting lineup, and if they have to bowl again, what are they going to bowl with? Poor Shanaka and what's his name?
This one to.
As Otto is struggling there with his stream.
Chandimal played.
Otto, I think maybe just let's refresh it quickly. That one was just a 4 punched out of the offside to the extra cover boundary. Just for we do apologize, early morning gremlins as we set ourselves up. Yeah, Ravi, I do believe that, but I think Chandimal looks seemingly fine with that run. I don't know if you spotted anything.
No, I didn't spot anything while he was running. I'll admit, but I did see him walking gingerly down the stairs, which is
this one by Ngidi outside off stump and goes through to the keeper for no run, left alone by Chandimal. 69 for 2.
Those stairs at Centurion are very steep, so you can be forgiven if you want to walk gingerly.
That ball outside the off stump lifted a bit, didn't it?
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking for the replay now to see where it pitched exactly, but it was on a goodish length. Lifted nicely and came back to the batsman.
But the line is still too wide of the off stump unless if Lungi can get the ball to jack back into the batsman.
Yeah, and that is what he tries to do there with that next delivery. It's a bit closer, defended to point by Chandimal, and there is no run. Chandimal is on 25, and the score is 69 for 2, 13th over.
Do you remember when Steve Smith had a bad back? Oh no, not Steve Smith. When Michael Clarke had a bad back, the English bowlers decided to bowl short at him consistently to keep straining that back because he couldn't flex it. I'm wondering if the South Africans think such might be a tactic towards Chandimal.
And Gidi now
so,
into Chandimal outside the off stump, and it beats the outside edge as Chandimal tries to play a wafty defensive shot, and there's no run. End of the 13th over.
So the one thing that a groin or a hammy or any leg related injuries could give the batsman a little bit more problems is the fact that obviously if you try to draw the batsman forward, you are going to ask the batsman to take that step forward, and we're not sure how comfortable Chandimal will be being able to being pushed back on the back foot, being pushed on the front foot. So as Ravi was saying, I think short balls can work as a set in a plan. So you can bowl a full one to draw them forward. You can bowl one short to push them back, and test the foot movement of Chandimal to see whether the physio actually did a great job last night. Because we saw last night he was stretched off in those little lovely buggies, those scooter ambulance stretchers.
Yeah,
Vian Mulder is into the attack now. He's bowled 3 overs for 10 runs so far in this innings, and he looked a bit off his line and length yesterday. Let's see what he does today. He's coming in over the wicket, to the left-hander who drives this out to mid-off. A bit of a fumble by Bavuma, but they only take a single. So that's Kushal Pereira's first run of the day.
I don't think they took a single. No, they didn't. He was sent back. He was sent back by Chandimal. He ran halfway down the pitch, and then he went back. So that was confusing us because we just saw someone running.
Yes. Okay. So Kushal Pereira, the left-hander, will face the second delivery of Vian Mulder's first over. Yes, we see.
Yes.
It's Bavuma, so you better not run. Mulder across the left-hander through to the keeper, left alone no run.
Yeah. Yes, it was a good shot. He literally came all the way down the wicket for that first ball, and then saw it was timber and was decided to go back. Yes. But look, and this game's not over. And I was chatting on Cricket Fanatics magazine yesterday, and this game it may look over for the South Africans, but Kushal Pereira has shown us in Durban last year that he can bat for a very long time. Yes.
Left alone outside off the run.
Yes, I've got some tweets. Josie Oak says, morning all. They shut the damn pubs again, Struth. And then Anis Mohammed said, morning gents. Just so you guys know, Faf didn't get his double because Neil Manthorpe jinxed the hell out of him on SABC radio 2 balls before he went out. And here's Ed Rainsford. And here's Ed Rainsford to take you through to Duplessis double 100. That's exactly what he said. Oh no. Edge and through the gap.
Yep, through that gap again. How many balls have we seen go past gully on the inside? Just fine of the gully fielder. Can't we have 2 gullies in there?
No, you've got 2 slips, and that gully is slightly more wider than normal. Yes, there's 2 slips. So Lungi gets 3. And Aiden Markham standing at 4th slip / gully, and it went. If there was a 3rd slip, it would have gone straight down, and Aiden Markham falls forward just in.
Yeah, that went through about shoulder height, just above shoulder height through 3rd slip. Oh no! Okay, well, that's good signs for South Africa. 73 for 2. That went all the way to the boundary for Kusal Pereira. 37 now. Mulder again. This one slashed hard by Pereira, and it bounces over the slip cordon down to the third man boundary for another 4.
Ravi, could we be seeing a Kusal Pereira? Could we be seeing a Kusal Pereira masterclass here, taking us back to 2019?
We're seeing that again. The Sri Lankans are targeting Mulder. They're trying to target him to limit the captain's bowling options here. So this happened in the first innings as well. So let's hope for Mulder's sake he just keeps his line and length there and see what he can do, if he can induce another edge. Okay. Comes in again. This time left alone, and there's no run. Last ball of the 14th over. 77 for 2.
I hope this is the last time we say this in 2020, the year of our Lord. It's a famous saying. Ravi, you're on mute.
Yeah, no, a bit of a stare there from Mulder.
As Ravi sorts his microphones out, this third wicket partnership is now 55 runs or 56 balls. It's just giving you a sense of how the South African bowlers are not hitting their straps, and they haven't been hitting their straps since these two came in. A lot of 4 balls amounting for 40 runs and also 5 extra. So these two have only had to run for 10 runs amongst themselves, which is something that that the South Africans would really need to consider.
Lungi and Gidi now, right arm over the wicket to Chandemore through to the keeper for no run, left alone. But
yes, Ravi, we can hear you loud and clear.
Right, fantastic. I don't know why my mic went to mute, unless it was the cat. She's been troubling me, but we won't worry about that right now. She's scared of my cigarettes, so as long as I keep smoking, she'll stay away.
Oh no. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. My cat used to climb onto my homework when I was doing my homework at school. This one by Lungi and Gidi sharply angles in off the pitch. No danger there for Chandimal. He leaves it alone and has to dive to his left to fetch it. No run. 77 for 2.
I genuinely believe that Kusal Pereira targets anyone he faces, and he always relies a little bit on luck and edges not going to hand. So it could be a special innings because he's a lovely aggressive batsman, but it could be over any minute too. But
the one thing I like about him is that when you give him a wide ball and a bad ball, he will throw everything at it. He's not tentative like the other batsmen in the Sri Lankan lineup.
This one is defended to point by Chandimal or Lungi and Gidi for no run.
He's like no other batsman on any side. He just goes for it. He reminds me, though not quite the same style, as Sanat Jayasuriya, who would just go for it.
Yes. Also, Virender Sehwag, in terms of the attacking, the technique is Sehwag's got, I think, much better technique, and so does David Warner. But remember, when David Warner came onto the scene, he just threw everything at anything that was in his half.
And Gidi again to Chandimal, left alone outside off stump, and there is no run.
And this is a good line for Gidi. He's bowled 4 balls in that channel, and sometimes you just need to keep bowling in that channel to slow down the run rate, build some pressure, and the batsman might start getting tired and wanting to feel bat on ball, and that's when you start bringing. That's when you can bring those slips into play. So Lungi Gidi is bowling quite well. It was really exciting to see Kagiso Rabada bowling around in the morning session as well today. So there's that added mystery of who's getting dropped for the next test.
And Gidi into Chandimal, he defends this backward of point, and it's fielded there. Don't think they're going to take a run to that. It went straight to backward point, no run. So from Sri Lanka's point of view, they need to just see off, take it maybe 20, 30 minutes at a time, just try and survive as long as they can. And as you mentioned before, just take chunks out of South Africa's bowlers as best they can. Good fielding there by Maharaj at backward point to stop those runs there.
Also, we might note that South Africa need to be bowling differently to Chandimal and to Pereira because they're quite different batsmen, particularly now.
This one outside off stump surprises Chandimal a little bit, but it beats the outside edge through to the keeper for no run. I won't say he left that alone.
Is that a maiden over? It is.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, something new.
Good
for
stuff.
day 4.
Yes.
I am celebrating maiden overs because that shows that at least there's a bit of a plan going on with the South Africans. And that last one nearly got the edge there. A little bit of extra bounce that Ngidi is extracting, and that's what the batsmen have to contend with here at Centurion, which is why the South Africans would need to want to get Sri Lanka out as soon as possible, because I don't think anybody would want to bat on here, even if it's for to get 100 runs, because it's going to be quite tough.
Mulder now to Kusal Perera, right arm over the wicket to the left-hander. He leaves this alone.
I'd like to see Ngidi bowling to Kusal Perera. So far, he's got Chandimal's measure and he's kept him quiet. But if he can get a decent line to Kusal Perera, that will be where the action is. Mulder doesn't necessarily have the pace.
No, he doesn't have the pace. And it's quite obvious that they did the same thing to him in the first innings. Mulder over the wicket to Perera and across the left-hander, left alone. They really went after him, and he got some reward in the end. So he just needs to stick to his lines. And once again, from Sri Lanka's point of view, if Perera gets a bad ball, he has to punish it. But that line by Mulder now is a lot tighter on ball pitching on middle and going across the left-handers, so not enough space for Perera to really play. This next one is on middle stump, cuts him in half, inside edge appeal.
There it is.
And it's given out.
It's given out for caught behind. And Perera has gone straight up. Wow. Okay. So that ball jacked back into Kusal Perera, cramping him for room, which is something that you need to do when you bowl to Perera. And Vian Mulder did that very well, because yesterday he was getting the ball to swing away from him and come back into him. And this one jagged back really nicely. The South Africans heard an edge. So let's see how this one will go.
See the replay here. It pitches on about leg stump middle. And it flicks the pants. The question is now, is that the only deflection, or was it off the bat and then onto the pants pocket there of Kusal Perera? The umpire did give it out.
It looks like
we'll have to wait for the snicko and the side-on view as well to see if there was contact between the bat and ball. I'm definitely seeing contact with his pants pocket.
It looks like it missed the bat on the front-on view. Because let's see as we go to snooker and ultra edge.
It's so close. It's so close to the bat, but there's no sound there from the bat. And the sound will come, I have no doubt, from the pants, not even there.
Yeah, it hit the pocket.
The pocket, that creates that whipping sound that emulates the nick. So it looks like Perera is going to survive this, and Marais Erasmus is overturning his decision. So review retained by Sri Lanka. South Africa have 2 reviews remaining, and Sri Lanka still have their full 3, but a good ball by Vian Mulder as he comes in again now over the wicket to the left-hander. This one pitches just outside off stump, left alone by Perera, no run.
Vian Mulder's got a good line going right now, but I'm wondering if he'd be more effective if he bowled round the wicket to Perera, cramping him for room and not letting him free his arm.
We'll have a look at the field set, because if he's bowling this line, then he's got to have a packed offside field. They've got a fine leg and 4 slips and a point. We'll see what else we can see here. Over the wicket, if he comes around the wicket, he's going to have protection on the leg side. So that one goes across Perera as well, left alone. Maybe Perera just calming himself down a little bit, because that was quite wide and he could have easily chased after that one too. He's on 41 and the score is still 77 for 2. Good over so far by Mulder. 1 ball to go. Yes.
I just wanted to remind everyone you can subscribe to our One World Sports YouTube channel for more of this sort of content. We cover a lot of sports as well.
This one is played off his middle stump by Pereira. They go through for a quick single. And Ravi, you are getting your wish because Ngidi will be bowling to Pereira after that quick single. Chandimal is dropped his bat. He's on his hands on knees. After that quick single, the camera goes straight to Mickey Arthur, who is not changing his expression at all. He's limping a bit. It's Chandimal.
Yeah, it's that groin.
8 for 2. Chandimal is on 25.
Quick singles would get them. Anis Muhammad tweets in. He says, I wonder if the bowlers have been explained their different roles in the lineup. Why are Mulder and Sipamla doing things differently than what made them successful in domestic cricket? Also, Ngidi and Nortje look as if they're not match fit enough to bowl longer than 4 over spells. I don't know about that, but...
what did he say? He says also Ngidi and Nortje. That was closer than
he would have been one of them that hit directly.
Yes.
Look, I think Lungi is fit enough. He bowled 8 6 overs last night. And he's done incredible work in the off season.
And Ngidi comes round the wicket to Kusal Pereira, who drives this strong drive out to mid-off, but there's no run. It goes straight to the fielder.
So here's the interesting dynamic now. Here's an interesting dynamic now. With Chandimal having pulled his groin in that last quick single, Pereira's not going to be looking for singles and streaky twos. He's probably going to now start looking possibly for boundaries or longer drives to try and get a Chandimal across for a single. So it's something that the South Africans are going to try and probably dry up the runs to make Kusal Pereira get an error.
Ngidi around the wicket to Kusal Pereira, who plays a beautiful swashbuckling cover drive into the covers for 4.
And just as I said, he's dealing in 4s. Dealing in 4s.
Well, but at least Ngidi is bowling around the wicket. So in theory, if he gets his line right, he can cramp up the room.
It's actually very surprising that there isn't a fielder at a deep point for that type of a shot, or even a squarish third man.
No, you want to leave that option open because you want that shot because that's where you get the edge.
Yeah, but you also need him to mistime it, and for that mistimed shot, because it bounced, it took one bounce and went over the boundary for 4, and it was a no ball as well.
Oh dear!
Well, and a no ball signal by Old Stock. Oh, 83 for 2 is the score now. Let's see what happens with Ngidi on this one. It's not a free hit as in ODI, so you can take a wicket with this ball. And this one is on-off stump, just played neatly down to square leg behind square for a single by Pereira. Hopefully a very calm single for Chandimal's sake, 84 for 2. Sri Lanka now trail by 141.
He should be calling the runs now. Chandimal should be calling the runs.
It looked a bit inside edges,
yes.
edgish actually. That I mean, he got that on it, but not as much as perhaps he'd have liked.
Yeah, Lungi got that to shape into the left-hander, which is really nice. He gets that natural shape away from the right-hander that cuts the left-hander for a little bit more room.
Ngidi is into Chandimal full on-off stump and back across to the bowler over his head, and I think he might have gotten a hand to that. It was driven straight back to Lungi Ngidi into the ground and over his head, and we can see the lines by Ngidi this morning just outside off stump.
Perfect.
Yes, and you can
bring
see
him forward with his dodgy groin.
Very nice grouping of the deliveries going past off stump, and only a few of them going higher than the bails. And he's definitely searching for those lines coming closer and closer to off stump. So excellent work by Ngidi so far. He comes in over the wicket again to Chandimal. This one stays low and Chandimal chops down onto it into extra cover, no run.
Even those balls that were higher than the bails, they were the ones with the extra bounce in them, because we've seen some of them rising quite a bit. So you can't even blame Lungi for that. We should see variation in height.
Yes, but the lines are spot on. He's getting his line right. And that one would have
last one
gone
was
cannoning
homing in on
into the off stump. Yeah. So Chandimal saved his wicket there with that late chop down onto the ball that stayed low.
So he's got to worry about his groin and also the ball dying out on him.
Ngidi to Chandimal, and he defends this back down to the pitch where Ngidi fields. There's no run, 84 for 2. Chandimal is on 25 or 35. Kusal Pereira is on 47 or 54. And this is the 17th over of the second Sri Lankan batting innings, the third innings of the match, of course.
And we have another tweet in from Shepo. This is the bowling partnership we've been waiting for. Love seeing the healthy slip cordon. It is, but it could be healthier, to be honest. 3 slips and that gully leaves a gap.
Ngidi goes over the wicket to Chandimal on middle stump and defended to Ngidi, no run.
It's another good over from Lungi, just conceding that it was 6 runs, obviously, that 5 up front with the 4 and the no ball and the single, but he brought it back really nicely. I think Chandimal, I don't know what more can you do. You can't necessarily, you will try to rotate the strike, but it has to be safer singles rather than the quicker ones through and trying to manipulate the bowling. So you kind of feel as though the only way to put the pressure back on South Africa is to try and look for boundaries. So it's going to be quite tough for them, I think.
Mulder comes into Pereira on middle stump, defended back to mid on, no run.
Why hasn't Sipamla had a bowl so far?
That's something I actually was questioning yesterday. I think Vian Mulder, in the first day, even though Sipamla took 4 wickets, Vian throughout the day was the most consistent bowler, and with left-handers, because we saw Sipamla struggling with Kusal Pereira up front. Vian Mulder can move the ball in and out into the left hand and away from the left-hander. So I think that was the reason for that yesterday.
Yeah, but they started this morning with Mulder as well, not Sipamla or Nortje.
Well, Nokia had a mare yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Mulder, this one outside off stump, pitches on about off stump and goes across Pereira, leaves it alone for no run. I think
so Nokia...
Go ahead.
Nokia only bowled 3 overs yesterday and he went for 23 runs. And he was just giving the Sri Lankans a lot of 4 balls. And that's why Mulder was brought in. And Vian had an economy rate of 3.13 when he started today. So he was bowling much better from this end.
Mulder into Pereira, full and on off stump and dropped there in the slips. It looks like took the outside edge or the leading edge there from Pereira's bat, and it squirted out to the slip cordon. Let's see what the ball did here. Was it a drop catch or not?
It went low towards him.
Yeah,
it went very low towards him, and he dropped. He went with one hand on his right, and he dropped it.
The ball swung through the air. Yes, he went in front of Rassie van der Dussen at first slip. I don't think Rassie would have caught it because it was low to the ground with the leading edge, and it would have bounced if Faf didn't go for it with his right hand, and he just popped out of his hand. But that was an absolute beauty of delivery. They took a single there. This one to Chandimal gets driven back to Mulder, who deflects it to mid-on, and there is no run. That ball swung through the air, squared Pereira up, and took the leading edge down to the slip. So that was a great delivery by Mulder. Absolutely beautiful.
And should the slips have been standing slightly closer so Rassie could have made that catch?
No, I don't think so, because that was the thing there was the leading edge. It almost came off the back of the bat. So
it came off and also the bottom half of the bat. So it was already hit the bat very low.
And this one by Mulder also looks like it's shaping a bit through the air, just outside off stump, defended back to the bowler for no run. 85 for 2 is the score now. Some excitement here from Mulder, so that's good to see. Lungi getting his lines right and Mulder making things happen for South Africa this morning, but also some good defending by Pereira and Chandimal, keeping the ball away from their wickets and from their pads. Mulder in again over the wicket to Chandimal. It's left alone outside off stump and there's no run. So one drop catch already so far today for South Africa, but that was a super difficult chance. That was a super difficult chance. Yeah.
You say good defending by Chandimal and Pereira. I admit that Chandimal has been defending well. I don't think Pereira has even been trying to defend. Have you seen a defensive stroke by him this morning?
Well, he's keeping the ball out of his wickets and off his pads. So even with that streaky leading edge, he did connect with it. So we'll give him that little bit of credit this morning. But yeah, Vian Mulder has been really good against Pereira in terms of getting him into those awkward positions and making the ball talk a little bit through the air. So that's nice to see. 6 overs so far in the day, only 20 runs so far. So very low scoring rate of 3.3 here this morning, which is way below what we've seen in the rest of the test match. This one by Ngidi to Pereira, 3 slips and a gully defended to extra cover and there's no run.
See, this is what I don't get. Ngidi gets 3 slips, Vian Mulder gets 2.
Well, for Pereira, he had 3.
Yes.
For Chandimal, they give him 2. I'm also puzzled by that, and it was definitely be something that I'd be talking to my captain about if I were Mulder.
It's your second game in Test cricket. It'll probably be like, young sport, you'll get whatever we give you.
Okay.
I'll take whatever you give me. Whatever you give me, I'll take it.
Yeah, and Ngidi is now over the wicket to Pereira, the second delivery. Both of them were over the wicket in this over, and this one is also left alone through to the keeper for no run.
Yeah, so he's on 48, and
he's probably feeling the pressure of 50, so not going quite so swashbuckling right now until he gets his 50, I suspect, Pereira.
So we might, we're not seeing any fielders close in trying to stop the singles here.
Well, you got to give them the singles. I'd rather be bowling to Chandimal.
And Ngidi to Pereira. This one is an appeal for LBW. Holdstock is not moving at all. And Ngidi,
it's probably pitched outside leg.
Yeah,
outside leg.
Yeah, I don't think that's
but we're reviewing the
review. It has been reviewed.
No. Oh dear, that will be a wasted review.
I think so too.
You heard it here first from Guerilla SA. Yes,
and they've already wasted one review yesterday, so that wasn't.
Lungi needs to have that pitch in line.
Let's see where the pitch is. Oh, that could be. It could be. It looked like it did straighten. It hit him in front of middle and leg. So the only reprieve here for Pereira would be the pitching outside leg stump. We'll have to wait for pitch vision for the ball tracking, but it hit the pad first, nowhere near the bat. So that's
probably
that
get
one.
An umpire
Outside leg. Well done, Ravi. Well called there. And review lost. So South Africa have one review left.
Yeah, look at that. This pitching 3 inches outside leg. Or more, 5 inches.
Yeah. As he was taking guard, you could see all 3 stumps behind the batsman.
Yeah. In fact, Ngidi's been bowling a good line to him, keeping it much straighter, not giving him the chance to free his arms while bowling over the stumps to him for the left-hander. It's an interesting line, and it seems to be keeping Pereira quiet. But they shouldn't have reviewed that.
No, definitely not.
It kind of feels like the South Africans are desperate to make a breakthrough after 30 minutes have gone.
Yep, Ngidi in again to Pereira. This one is defended outside off stump to extra cover, and there is no run.
I'm not sure if they'll be allowed to play golf, but they have the whole country club to themselves. So maybe they're trying to see if they can't get a biosecure golf game going at the Irene Country Club. You see, this is what England wanted. They wanted the Vineyard Hotel to be next to a golf course, so they could kick everyone off the golf course.
I'm just wondering if Ngidi needs a fielder behind leg, backward of square. because he doesn't have anyone. He's bowling a much straighter line.
I think he's got a fine leg, but he doesn't have a back pad. I think that would work.
He doesn't have a
for
fine
that.
leg.
This one goes wide, full and wide by Ngidi, and Pereira throws his bat at it, and it bounces into the ground and to the keeper for no run.
Well, yeah. Well, from our pictures, he doesn't have a fine leg. He might be squarer, but I'd like the fine leg to come through. But I think they're trying to tell Lungi to push it straight and either away from and middle and off, and that fourth stump line to try and concentrate all of Kusal's runs down onto the offside.
Onto the
85
offside,
for
yeah.
2. And
That was almost
in
a
again.
T20 delivery,
Kusal
wasn't it?
Pereira, left alone
Yes.
outside off stump, no run.
Yes, that one was. It's one of the balls he uses, that wide full toss that stops people from getting runs. I think a lot of the T20 bowlers use it as a stopgap. Bjorn Hendricks tried to
as a
use it
wide
against
Yorker.
England, and he just missed all his lines. So Lungi's been working on that.
Bjorn Hendricks had a nightmare. We know that, and I gave him credit for it, as you know.
And then he got
as well,
COVID.
but, poor chap. That
He
I
actually
feel
would have been
really sorry
playing.
for.
He would have been playing this test match if he didn't get COVID.
Mulder versus
Ooh, instead of
Chandimal,
Sabamba.
defended to extra cover, no run. 85 for 2 is the score still. So
Remember-
Vian Mulder has still got 2 slips and a gully to
That
Chandimal.
previous over was also a maiden, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That is
so they've
correct.
really slowed down the scoring rate today.
And that's the first thing you'd want as Charles Langeveld, the bowling coach, is to just, if you can't take wickets, you just stop the game.
Mulder over the wicket, Chandimal left alone through to Quinton, and there's no run.
Because in as much as the Sri Lankans are all injured, this isn't the fourth innings of the match, and so they still have to somehow find a way to make a game of this. And if the South Africans are not bowling in areas they like, they're going to have to find a way to create runs, and that's when obviously the mistakes can start to happen, and that's probably the only way we have right now.
Mulder
But
in again
I
to
will
Chandimal, defended outside off stump to point, no run. A nice grouping of dot balls here by South Africa.
Yes, Ravi?
Chandimal is not in a position to take quick runs, so I think Sri Lanka have shut up shop as far as the runs are concerned. They only want to deal in fours. So they're just looking for the bad balls now. So now is when South Africa should attack.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good tactic by Sri Lanka. For Vian Mulder going over the wicket onto middle stump and off and leg stump there, defended awkwardly by Chandimal. He didn't have much of a clue where that went, and it didn't hit him on his pads. No appeal, no run.
Yeah, and I think this is where
he should be bowling. Keep Chandimal on his toes, as it were. Stretch that groin, strain it, whatever. But make him work for not leaving it outside the off stump, but make him work for every delivery for his wicket.
there it is.
Oh, yes. There it is. Vian Mulder gets the off stump, bent back for Chandimal, and he has to depart for 25. Great in-swinging delivery or ducking in. I think we'll see on the replay if Mulder got a little bit of swing there, but beat Chandimal's outside edge and struck the off stump. So good work there by Mulder, and he gets rewarded for his consistency there. 85 for 3. Chandimal looking back for some reprieve, and that it's not forthcoming. And we'll see here, nice movement in off the seam, beat the inside edge of Chandimal, played outside it, and it struck the off stump. Ecstatic Vian Mulder, he's very happy, and well, he should be. That was a beautiful delivery.
So the biggest asset The biggest asset that Vian Mulder has is that he can land the ball on the seam and he can make the ball move away or come back in. So we've seen with Lungi to Dinesh Chandama, all the balls are going away. There's one that came in, but it was too high. The Vian Mulder did the same tactic that Lungi did, but he's more of a swinger. He swings the ball a little bit more than Lungi does. And this time he got the ball to cut back in rather than going away. And so it's that surprise ball that gets the wicket, which is a great plan. You have a lot of your balls going away, and the one that comes in has him not even moving his feet and stranded.
Yeah, and this one also, it looked to me like it kept a bit low.
Yes.
Chandima was playing for a higher bouncing ball there, but it struck just to clip the top of off stump.
That's what they tell you for.
Yep.
It's
so good.
bowling the areas. I don't think that Mulder knew whether the ball would seam in or seam out. He was just getting it on the seam, outside off stump, just outside off, and seeing what it would do.
Yeah.
And
good work.
that got
Good work there.
Chandimal's wicket.
Get Vian Mulder a juke ball, please.
Niroshan Dikwela is into the action now. We will see if his beasting definitely hasn't slowed him down. So that's good to see that he's healthy and up and ready to bat. As Mulder comes into him now, he's left-handed. He blocks this one out to cover, and there's no run. 85 for 3. Sri Lanka trail by 140. And great work there by Vian Mulder. So that was a wicket maiden after stringing all those dot balls together.
It makes things easier for South Africa now that there are two left-handers at the crease, because they can maintain a consistent line. Even with, I'd expect to see a lot more singles taken now because Chandimal's gone. But you can bowl to a plan now and not have to keep shifting it because of the batsman. So let's see what happens.
Good point. Yes, that's going to help South Africa a little bit, and we'll see what type of mood Dikwela is in. Pereira is still on 48 of 63 balls. So Chandimal scored his 25 or 45 before he was bowled by Mulder. And only 6 extras so far, so that's also a better figure than what we saw in the first innings. Nokia is into the attack now. He goes to Kusal Pereira, who defends this to point, and there is no run.
Yes, so I know we're hoping for a much better spell, slightly fuller length. So yesterday was bowling quite short, and he wasn't bothering the batsman at all. And Nokia's big key here is always to hit the bat, the ball must hit the bat high on the bat, and also try and cause the batsman some discomfort by forcing them to stay in their crease, and then your surprise ball's the fuller one outside the off stump.
This one by Nokia is a little bit shorter, and it's down to third man or backward point, where it's fielded and they take a single. So Pereira moves on to 49. Dikwela is going to face Nokia. I think Nokia should take a page out of Ngidi and Mulder's book, like Ravi rightly pointed out, and like we've said about Ngidi's bowling, hit those areas, go for the wickets, just hit those areas outside off stump, and if the bowler doesn't know, like Sean Pollock always used to say, if the bowler doesn't know what it's going to do, how the hell is the batsman going to do?
The batsman going to know it.
Otto, I'm going to ask you to refresh quickly. Next ball in. Next ball in outside the off stump, let go by Dikwela. Not Mulder. Nokia's come around the wicket this time. As we just wait for Otto to just get back on the stream.
Let me tell you what Herb has said on the Twitter. He says, sitting in snowy England and really enjoying the Guerilla SA cricket coverage on the SA versus SA Boxing Day test. Humor, insight, and an obvious love for the game from the commentary teams. Thanks for the entertainment, guys. And thank you, Herb, for listening in as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nokia with the back of a length ball to Diquela, and he just defends that. That hit the bat very high. And yeah, so 86 for 3. Otto, you good? Just give us a young
Let's
one line of
see.
yours.
Let's hope so. Only 17
better.
minutes to go. Much better. Great stuff. Okay. Yeah, Nokia coming around
Yeah.
the wicket to Diquela now. Let's see if when he went around the wicket to Pereira, that last delivery, if he can settle into a rhythm here. Around the wicket again to Diquela. This one outside off stump. Left alone to the keeper. No run. Too wide. A line there. So he needs to try and pitch it outside off. Just a little bit closer than that last delivery, but maybe he's following Ngidi and just working on his line, starting out wide and bringing it in.
Does
gradually.
he have anyone backward of square on the leg side? He might be worried about that.
We'll see. We'll see just now if we can see the fielding settings here. Nortje around the wicket to Diquela on off stump, and this takes an inside edge. Yes, there is a fine leg who runs around now to collect, and they take quick 2. So as you pointed out, Ravi, with Chandamal gone, they can now run. Diquela is on 2.
Touch wood. If you're Mickey Arthur right now, those quick singles give you heart palpitations.
Yeah. Sishepo also tweets in, Mulder's discipline does it for the Proteas. Man showing why he was Gibson's favourite child, which is a reference I don't get.
Gibson is Otis Gibson, the former coach of South Africa.
Oh, right. Yes,
and Björn Mulder got his, I think he got his test debut under Otis Gibson. And at the time, I think Björn had just finished high school. I know he played for the Lions while being in high school in his final year in high school. The one training session is a picture of him arriving in the change room in his school uniform.
This one by Björn Mulder, who's continuing, seems to have struck Kusal Pereira on the arm as it cut in once again, almost like one that was given out. It hit his left arm, his rear arm, his back arm, on the elbow. So he's going to feel that for a while. Almost like the one that was given out a little bit higher and just clipped the tip of his elbow. And luckily for Pereira, enough of his elbow deflected the ball down into the ground and away from his stumps. Theo is coming on to the field, Sri Lanka's MVP for this test. Grabs his back.
That
and he's running out to help
Pereira there. Wasn't it? That was a ball
yes,
that jumped. Putting it in the eye.
Yes, a little bit more extra bounce there. Yes, so Pereira came forward to play that to try and with a little bit of a forward punch. And so the ball rose a little bit higher than he expected. He was expecting the ball to hit him high on the bat, but actually it just missed the bat and hit him on that elbow, on that front elbow, and it's just very sore. It's luckily this is more of an external injury rather than an internal injury.
He still won't get a runner. He still won't get a runner. I'm sorry. It's your elbow. You don't run with your elbows.
So yesterday's press conference was filled with questions about whether the ICC should allow substitutes for COVID in COVID times, right? And Mickey Arthur says he's on the panel, and he's definitely going to have a discussion with him once the series is done. And the logic, because obviously the reason with him and Sri Lanka was that they were preparing for the Bangladesh series, and then they decided that was not going to happen because of COVID, so they had to deload the players. So you load them up fitness-wise, and because for safety concerns, you have to unload them back to normal society, essentially. And then they found out they were going to play in South Africa, and then so they brought them into a camp, but that camp happened under lockdown, so some players who were living outside Colombo couldn't come in, and so they had to do training at home. And once they actually got the go-ahead for this tour, they got a camp with the players. They spent about a month with the players, about a couple of weeks with the players, and then the Sri Lankan Premier League started, and so they lost the players.
This one, Mulder, is straight onto middle leading edge from Pereira squirts out to the covers, and I think they took a single there. We'll just check now. Maybe they didn't.
Yes, they did. Pereira moves to his 5th test 50 with that single, and Mickey Arthur is shaking, applauding him. And you can see Kusal Pereira has a new cool little band around his elbow, and he scored his 50 of 67 balls.
Yeah, good work by Pereira.
Anis Mohammed says, I know it's early on in the innings, but in the 3 matches that are going on at the moment, there has been no reverse swing. Have teams forgotten how to do it, or was the art always nefarious in nature?
No.
So a little bit of controversy there.
Well, also with that 50 run, Kusal Pereira has reached 1,000 runs in Test cricket. So congratulations to him, a double milestone going to him.
Fantastic.
We'll talk about the reversed swing after this ball from Mulder. But I think it's because teams are no longer allowed to use saliva on the balls. And so you see a lot of teams not shining the balls as much.
Dikwela defends this, but it beats his ouch. Also glitched there, but it's through to the keeper for no run. 18.
Mulder's looking really good.
Yeah, Otto, we're struggling to hear you there. That last ball just went outside Pereira's off stump. He tried to play at that one. Vian Mulder getting the Sri Lankans to play at the balls, and it was a good one. Just no edge there as we wait. Yeah, so I think teams aren't allowed to use saliva as Mulder comes in. This one down the leg side, and it was flicked off either the pad there, and it was dropped by Quinton on the leg side. And so I don't know if that was an opportunity, but based on Quinton's wry smile, he thought that came off the bat, and Vian Mulder's not happy as well. Another opportunity gone, begging 2 dropped catches already. As we look at that replay, came off the feather of the bat there, and Quinton just grasping that one.
And he had both hands behind the ball and just hit him on his fingers. He closed his hands too quickly. Mulder over the wicket to Dikwela. This one is left alone. A good leave by Dikwela through to the keeper for no run. 89 for 3.
End of that over. So Ravi, I think it's the lack of saliva. Yes?
In fairness to Quinny, that ball was down the leg side. That wasn't the line he was expecting Vian Mulder to bowl. So he had to actually shift from an offside line to the leg side to try to get the delivery behind the stumps. He should still have caught it, I guess. But,
and we see images of Vernon Philander in the commentary box, holding his hands on his head, seemingly remembering the times that his leg side edges were dropped. But Vian Mulder's bowled incredibly well so far. Nokia in.
And over the wicket to Pereira, who flicks this off his pads down to fine leg or square leg, where it's fielded now, and they take another quick 2. So good running there by the Sri Lankan. Centurion is not a big ground, so a ball that goes down to the boundary most of the time gets you only 2 runs. So 91 for 3 is the score. They trail by 134 to Sri Lanka. Pereira is just retying his shoes as he'll face the second delivery by Anrich Nortje.
I hope this one too is not down leg, because they've been bowling a decent off-stump line so far. If they start challenging the fine leg and the wicketkeeper to take leg stump deliveries, it will cause them to change the fielding and the fielding position, which is not right. They should bowl to their field, ideally.
Nortje, this time across Pereira, and this one is left alone for no run. They're just showing a replay here.
Delivery.
Yes, much better. Pitches on the off-stump line going across the left-hander, not enough room to drive or cut. So he's got to keep it there, does Nortje. And that's what we saw from Mulder and Ngidi as well to the left-handers. Nortje in again. And this one is pitching on middle, going across the left-hander and squares him up, beats the outside edge. If you're a Sri Lanka fan, you might say Kusal left that alone because his bat was right in front of his body. But I don't think he knew a lot about that one.
That was a very good delivery.
Yes, that's more of that, please, Anrich.
And to some extent, Anrich has that in his armory. He just needs to bowl those a little bit more rather than the short balls that he tends to rely on a lot.
Over the wicket he goes, inside edge onto the pads, squirts out to cover. Kusal Pereira blocked that delivery, wasn't fully behind it. No run, 91 for 3.
That was a match
needs to stop
nice
bowling balls
there.
outside leg stump. Really. One ball in 6 is going down leg side is not good. It's almost like a leg spinner or something.
Yes, and the other thing that line gives you that goes across the left-hander is the inside edge onto the stumps. So he's got to keep it there. And this one is down leg side. No run. Left alone by Kusal Pereira. 91 for 3. Wasted delivery. Wasn't in terms of runs and that sort of thing, but Nokia was hitting those areas so well, and then he goes down leg again. That's not good.
Look, but you gotta. It's very hard bowling right arm over to the left-hander because you normally you kind of have to you open up your body to get it across the left-hander, and doing that has been very hard for bowlers throughout time. And because the moment where you will stray to that normal line that you bowl to that the right-hander's off stump, the left-hander's leg stump.
That last delivery defended to extra cover, no run.
But what I will say in both to that is that there are so many more left-handers in today's cricket that they really should be able to adjust. We can't say it's difficult for them, so therefore they have to be excused. And Gidi and Mulder didn't bowl that inconsistently. Nokia, perhaps training for pace, sense it. I don't know.
Vian Mulder to Guerilla. This one gets the edge down onto the ground to Gully, no run.
Mulder and edges, it's pretty cool. And to a certain extent, that's something that probably Anrich needs to bring into his game. That line works well if you want to bowl short to the left-handed batsman. But if you want to bowl full, that line doesn't work. So I think that's where he may have to try and work with Charles Langeveld to make sure that he's consistent to left-handers.
Mulder to Guerilla, beats the outside edge through to the keeper. Defense there by Guerilla, but he didn't make any contact with the ball. That was close to the edge as well.
Mulder is beating the Sri Lankans consistently on off stump, which is really good to see.
He's making them play, forcing them to play a shot, and then beating the outside edge. In again to Guerilla, this one is just defended down the pitch. First time Guerilla has had his back behind the ball, and there's no run.
This is our last over, is it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then we've got Tsepo and Dave who'll be coming on. And
nice.
We've got some comments on YouTube from our resident fan, my Europeanath. We'll talk about them at the end of this probably won't be our last over. I think the next over will be our last over.
Mulder to Guerilla, who plays a check drive through the covers, beats extra cover, and it goes to the boundary for 4. Good shot by Guerilla, a little bit wide from Mulder on that occasion, and got punished.
It was just too full there, and with the angle, it's a lot easier for Guerilla to just come forward with that front foot punch, and Temba had no chance there at middle.
Good shot by Guerilla.
On Twitter, Quinton, without the armband, would have caught that one.
Mulder in again. This one is deflected off his hips down to the fine leg boundary for 4. Too fine for the man at square leg to come around. 99 for 3 is the score now. Dick Weller is on to 10 runs. So straying in line there, Mulder as well, and getting some bat on it, Dick Weller.
There we go with that ball that's perfect to a right-hander, but very nice for a left-handed batsman to play down to fine leg.
Yeah, maybe a right-hander would have looked to pull that. Mulder in again to Dick Weller. This one, has it got the edge? Yes. And Mulder celebrates. Dick Weller has edged it through to Quinton de Kock, and he is walking off the field. That's 4th wicket down for Sri Lanka. They trail by 126. Dick Weller caught behind by Quinton de Kock off the bowling of Mulder for 10. And he faced how many deliveries? We'll check for you now.
15
deliveries, thank you.
And with that, guys, this is probably going to be the end of your stint, but a very good wicket from Vian Mulder. We hope to see you later on today if Dave doesn't take all the wickets in the next hour. But thank you very much, friends, and we'll see you later today. If not, in the next test match.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Done for this test, so I'll say goodbye and say what fun.
Cheers, Ravi.
And please give Vian Mulder a break. He's been bowling for what, 1 hour continuously now? So
yes, he has. It's been a long spell. It's been about 6 overs.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Ravi. Thank you. Sure. See you soon. And we've got Tsepo on and Dave as well. And gents, how have you seen this morning? I think Dave's still trying to sort himself out. We'll just wait for him to do that. But Tsepo, I think you're on mute. Yes, there we are.
Oh,
the 2020 saying.
It's the same thing. No, I feel good. Definitely have a bit of Mulder madness. Loving the line, loving the length, loving that consistency, man. This is what we've been talking about. It's so good to see. It feels like I'm watching Test cricket again. So, yeah.
Yes, just getting it again to start refreshing the screen. Mayura on YouTube says, hey, he is a comeback baby, or here is a comeback baby. And I think that was just before the wicket. And he asked how we are. So we are well, Mayura. Thank you very much for supporting us. And just as we do a lot of as we wait for that drinks break to end, just do subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see our lovely faces. We've got a scoreboard here. We obviously can't show the visuals, so we just it's you can just see us as we try to do this remotely. Obviously, in COVID, we can't all be in the studio, so we're all at our different houses trying to do this as safely as possible, especially in South Africa, because we've now gone to level 3 adjusted. Which has a lot of explanations, but just know that we are safe in our houses. Tsepo, you've been watching that first hour. Apart from Mulder, the South Africans have been bowling very well. I think in Ngidi and Nokia, yes, there have been a couple of few bad balls here, but they've tried to put pressure on Sri Lanka a lot.
Yeah, you can definitely see there's a clear plan this time around. Definitely hitting that 4th stump just outside of off-stump line. And even the dismissal that the one ball dismissal, the Chandamal dismissal that just hit the top of off stump, that is exactly what you love to see as a bowler. So it looks like the South Africans are really starting to hit their straps, and that's bad bowling that we are complaining about. It looks like it was a thing of the first innings. It was just a case of nerves, and the quality started to show through.
I think we're about to go back in, Tsepo. Are you on DSTV now on your phone?
I am.
So are you seeing the Powerade screen?
I'm still on the Kia screen. Arrive happy.
Tell me when you see Tell me when you see Dustin Shanaka's batting card.
Will do.
We're also trying to get Dave back on, so it'll just be the two of us for now. Once Dave sorts out his stream, he'll jump back on.
Awesome sauce. I have the tweets ready here. If you need me on tweets.
I will need you on tweets.
Fantastic.
So, are you good with Shanaka? Have you seen him?
With Shanaka? Oh no, still
Yeah,
not
the
there
packing
yet.
card.
We're still Ram hand-to-hand couriers. Still just in add nation at
Can
the
you just
moment.
restart it? Can you just restart it, and then we'll see
I'll
again.
see what happens.
Yeah, just go out and come back in. The first two balls of that Mulder over have been Nokia over have been played out to the offside at Pereira on 52 off 75 as we try to get our streams linked up so we can provide you the best quality. Third ball has been played off out to the leg side. What are you seeing, Tipo?
Still buffering. I'm not seeing any cricket at the
Okay.
moment. So yeah.
Cool, that's fine. I'll just keep on doing that, and then we'll just wait for you as Dave is coming in to join as well.
I just got a ball that went into Quinny's hat. Oh no, just a replay of the wickets. So
Okay.
still no Shanaka, but I'll keep you in the loop.
Okay, cool. The third ball of Vian's over played out to the leg side. That is no for a single. As we're just trying to see if Dave is getting himself on. Dave, you good? So I'm on 5.3 overs of Vian of Nokia's spell.
I'm on 5.2 at the moment. Just got the second one. Yeah, that's a bit better than before, at least.
Okay,
hello. Sorry, technical issues this morning. Is everybody
okay? No, that's fine.
doing well?
We are well. We're just
Dave.
waiting for you to come and take the wickets. Anush Nokia in a 2. That is Dustin Shanaka for his first ball. He plays it out to the offside. He's got 3 slips and a gully, with Vian Mulder just hanging out in the at mid wicket, just enjoying and basking into his newfound fame. And that ball, that fourth ball of the fifth of Nokia's fifth over, has been called for a no ball. We're just going to have a view of that. And it is no ball. Okay. That is a lot. Next ball, the fifth ball, is outside the off stump and played out to and let go by Shanaka to Quinton de Kock for that last one. Okay, I think at the end of the over, we'll try to sync it up a little bit better, so we can get you guys in. I'll just wait. You need to tell me when Nokia bowls his when Nokia bowls his final ball, his fifth ball of the over.
His fifth. Okay. He's about to bowl the one off the no ball. I'm just seeing no ball footage now. While we're here, we have a comment or tweet from Anis Mohammed. She says, at Guerilla Cricket SA, I know it's early on in the innings, but in 3 matches that were going on at the moment, there's been no reverse swing. Have teams forgotten how to do it, or has the art always been nefarious in nature? That's a really good question.
Yes, that's true. Tepo, are you there now?
I'm still seeing replays of the wickets.
Okay.
He's about to bowl his last one now.
There's the fifth one for me. Smashed that through the covers, and Mulder's having to do a bit of work there.
There we go, Dave, ball by ball.
Wonderful. So that's just reined in by Mulder there on the cover boundary there. 1 to go in Nokia's 6th over. He's got a little bit, very expensive for test standards, but wonderful from Kusal Pereira, 53 from 76. He's facing a difficult challenge. Gents, what have we thought about the opportunities gone begging this morning?
The Faf one was tough. I think the leg side one was a little bit of a let-off.
Nokia, and again, and this one spits out the deck, and Quinton takes it at head height, and that's end of that one. 103 for 4, Sri Lanka.
Yes, I think that Quinny one down the leg side was tough, but I think he should have done it. I think Quinny's probably one of the better glovemen in world cricket, and he could have done slightly better with that one.
No, I even tweeted as that happened that Quinny without the armband would have caught that one, because it just seems like it was both hands they had it. So yeah, back in the day, if you can get 2 hands on, it counts a drop catch. So
it's a simple take. In my mind, it's a simple take.
I agree with you.
Regulation take, yeah. But like you said, the armband maybe changed.
Maybe weighing his arm down, make it a bit. Yeah.
Maybe possible. Mulder in again for the start of the 10th. This one's worked off the pads and they race through for one. They think about the second, but no interest there as Supamla does the work. Markram's up to the stumps to collect that one.
On to the reverse swing question. Obviously, we're in COVID, so you're not allowed to use saliva, and so you won't see a lot of shining. You can shine the ball with sweat, but the moment saliva goes onto the ball, the umpires have to wipe it. So it possibly could be that, or they were doing other nefarious things. But
Changing the field as we see mid-wicket come out of place. Yeah. Well, besides Vian Mulder, who's in again now, and he passes the umpire, and this one's left alone. Dies on its way through to Quinn de Kock. No run.
It's surprising that Lutu Supamla hasn't been given an opportunity to bowl. South Africa's bowled for 2 hours already in the session, and he hasn't even bowled a ball.
No, it is pretty surprising. Oh, sorry about that, Dave. On Mulder's end, you could definitely see that there's something in the water for the man. The line, the length that he's bowling at is just fantastic to see. And while he's still rearing, why take him out? Let's clean up the innings.
Mulder in again, and that one's just pushed at by Shanaka. I'm sorry, it's simple. I want to slightly disagree with you on the lines. I think he needs to bowl slightly straighter. That last one was definitely a better line. Either you look for the faint nick off, like you said, there's not a lot of swing on offer, or the leg before. I think if you're bowling 4th, 5th stump line, I think you're going to find yourself short.
I see. Oh, rather get everything into play. Rather get the LBW into play. I see your...
Absolutely. Mulder in once again, and this one is meaningfully defended. No run there. Shanaka is probably higher than he should be, gents.
Yes, obviously Dharanjaya de Silva is injured. Wanindu Hasarange, who came in above him, is also injured. And so I think Shanaka batted at 7 yesterday, is now coming in at 5.
These injuries that have been plaguing the Sri Lankans, really quite the game changer.
So he's batting outside of crease here, obviously trying to just upset the length, and Mulder in again, and this is just defended, no run.
Yeah, I just sincerely hope that there isn't any other ideas, any other things that are preventing Luto from bowling, because it's been 2 hours and you've only used just 3 of your 4 frontline seamers. And Luto took 4 wickets in the last innings as well.
Many question marks. Now that you mention it, the more I think about it, the more you try to come up with your own reasons, but you obviously can't be in the mind of Quinny de Kock. But yeah, it could be many things. Could be just saving him to clean up the innings at the end.
Not really. You also want him to. You also want to give him an opportunity to bowl, and you also need to share the workload amongst your bowlers.
I wonder if they're feeling.
Yes, Dave? So that's the end of the 26th over. Sri Lanka 104 for 4. They trailed by 121. We're just trying to get Dave sorted out from a connection issue. Dave, are you back?
I think maybe looking for a man who's going to wrap up the innings there. There's proof that he's done well. The ball.
Yes, but also you also want to give an opportunity with the new ball as well, because he bowled well with the new ball the second time round.
He did. That he did.
As we look at the Sri Lankan dressing room, Hasaranga has padded up, but remember he had that quad issue yesterday from an injury perspective.
Sure, guys. Sorry, my stream is going through a bit of a lockdown of its
connectivity issues here.
First ball of the next over has been cut by Kusal Pereira. Nokia bowled that one. It was wide, and it went out to the cover point region where Timber picked it up, and the Sri Lankans run for 2. And Nokia was slightly short on his length there with that ball. And obviously Tsepo's sorting out. We've got connection issues across the board, but if you guys are ready, just jump in. Next ball in from Nokia, played out to the offside. No run taken. Kusal Pereira just deciding not to take that one. They Sri Lankans trail by 119. We keep on getting camera shots of Luto Supamla, which means he's probably yes.
I think that the lines are maybe.
Yes, Dave. We'll just try to get you on a better line. And then Nokia bowling the 4th ball of his 7th over. This one cramping Kusal Pereira for room and getting it played back out to onto the offside, no run. 106 for 4.
Fantastic. I am just about to witness the 5th ball be over.
Okay. So you're just seeing Aidan Markham rubbing the ball there, trying to get it to shine a little bit.
Tell me when you get to the end of after the 5th ball is bowled, then I'll be there.
Okay, that's fine. Just hold it there as Nokia is coming in to bowl the 5th over, the 5th ball of this over. It's a fuller one driven down to the fielder at mid-off. There's a fumble there that enables the Sri Lankans to take a single. The score goes up to 107 for 4. So I hope you caught it.
Perfect. Yeah, I just got Timba Bavuma shining the ball. And we're good to go. Looking crisp, oh, you can't be serious. Video playback error. Sure, technical difficulties are.
That's okay.
Right, but it is what it is.
Yes. We've got Dave back. That's the that ball came very low on the bat there. And last ball of Nokia's over was wide outside the off stump, and after beating the bat, shaped away slightly as Quinny de Kock picked it up in front of first slip. And it's the end of that over. 107 for 4. They trail by 118.
How many wickets before South Africa feels like we're in the tail, so to speak?
One more.
One more?
Shanaka,
yes.
Yeah.
So Hasaranga will come in, but he's obviously injured. So it's going to get that Chandamal situation with Kusal Pereira where you can't take quick singles. Obviously, the question would be how well the physio worked on him last night to try and needle out any of the aches and pains or any injuries that they had. Next ball in is a short, played out to the leg side, and a quick single was taken by, not actually due to the offside, quick single was taken to Temba by Kusal Pereira. Dasun Shanaka was put in the wars there as Temba took a shot at the stumps, and it missed not too far away. But that was the first ball of Vian Moldova.
That's like playing Russian roulette with 5 out of 6 bullets in the chamber. I don't know why you would do that.
It actually hit Shanaka's bat. There.
Exactly.
And Timber's lamenting the fact that it hit the bat. But there's nothing that... he did his best there. And
cannot blame him. Mulder in again, and this is left alone through to the keeper. Nothing there. So we say one is good enough, and it has to be Pereira.
Not really. It can be Shanaka. We know how well Pereira can bat with the tail, but remember that Mickey Arthur said in a press conference yesterday that he suspects that 3 of his batsmen won't come out, and that is De Silva
in once again, and it's a ball that just nips away and ends up in front of first slip. So there's still something on offer here for the South African all-rounder.
And yes, that's a nice. He gets this lovely, gets the ball to seam away, and he presents it really nicely, and so he's always in with a shot with the new ball.
Absolutely, it's. I think it's also the lines that he's bowling, the lines and lengths that he's bowling. Are asking questions of the Sri Lankan batsman. Halfway through his 11th, he's in again, and this is just defended as the men in the slips applaud the wonderful start here by Vian Mulder. Why not make the change to say Sipamla come from one end? What do you think's holding the change up?
That's a question we all would like to know.
It's difficult to say.
Because you also got to give him an opportunity at this level. He needs to bowl. He's good enough to bowl. Give him that opportunity. You've tried Nokia. You can't get a wicket with him. Vian Mulder must be tired because he's bowled for an hour and 20 minutes.
Wonderful delivery is the next one there. That just beats the off stump when Shanaka leaves it alone. Nothing there, but oohs and ahs all round.
We have another question here on the tweets from Anis Mohammed. Over the next 3 years, there may be 2 or 3 spots that may open up in the Proteas batting lineup. Who do you guys think we should have earmarked to fill these gaps? And should we take the Aussie approach or the subcontinental approach when it comes to replacements?
Mulder in again, and it's a wonderful line and slightly fuller than he probably would have wanted, but Shanaka's not able to make hay while the sun shines. That's the end of his 11th. Sri Lanka 108 for 4.
What's the subcontinental approach or the Aussie approach?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the Aussie approach. In particular,
Youngsters.
I'm thinking of youngsters.
And the subcontinental approach?
Pretty much, I imagine the same. Whereas South African is very tried and tested in domestic cricket before you get the chance at the top. And maybe that's just my assessment of things.
I'm thinking the South African approach of the tried and tested because we have the likes of Rassie van der Dussen and Dean Algar that are a little to the older side of the spectrum, but we need a bit of seniority. And I guess it just depends on the personnel and the gaps that we're trying to fill.
That's what I want to know. What is old?
Older. So the likes of Vian Mulder.
Nokia to start his new over, and it's one that just hits the thigh pad there of Kusal Pereira, and applause from his slip cordon and his captain because it's a delivery that they've bowled quite a lot in this test. It's obviously a plan here to go at the hips of the Lankans.
So, to answer your question,
what is old? What is old?
Yeah, what is old? Anywhere beyond like 32 is on the older side of the spectrum, not like seen.
But when do you? So here's a question: when do you expect Faf to retire? He's 35 right now. When do you expect him to retire?
Again, and that one's just whipped away off the pads, and they'll ask for 2, and they'll get through comfortably in the end.
Sure, that's a difficult question to answer because I don't know. I'm still scarred by the how AB de Villiers left the international circuit, and also a little bit of Hashim Amla. I felt that Hashim stayed on for too long, but there was no one else to fill that gap. So when should Faf retire? When he's taking up space. So it's not necessarily his age that's.
Okay, and again, that's short and cut over the inner ring, and a little bit of work there to do for Lutu Sipamla. He does it unconventionally, but I think he manages to clean up in the end, as that means that they get beyond Nelson without having to stop by for a cup of tea.
That was pretty smooth. Caught it and then just threw it behind his back as he was sliding like on a slide. That was very smooth. So yeah, we'll just see if this is a 4. Oh, no.
Did well.
That looks very good. Very well done.
So I think for me, when it comes to batters, it's always a tricky one because like Tsepo said, either you get somebody like an Amla who shouldn't have gone to the World Cup and was kept way longer than he needed to be, but then you also get a guy that probably shouldn't be in the squad that it's signaled for in the end, but who you know is being dropped because of his age. So it's a delicate balance, and I think you just got to go on his performance and you set goals with him. Nokia in again, and this one beats the bat, and it looks like they've got him. Rather, there's a shot from everyone involved, but Adrian Holstock is not interested. Quinton de Kock immediately went up. It was one that, if it did hit the shoulder of the bat,
de Kock with his reviews,
and the 12 on the deficit of Nelson, could Nelson strike here, gents? It didn't seem like Nokia was. You think so?
there's a sound that they heard, and that's why they're going with it. It was faint, and the ball, obviously, there's no thigh pad like the previous one where it went inside the gap between bats and
I
pad.
don't know if there's
So
anything
let's have
there.
a look there. Let's have a
Maybe
look at
Quinton's
that one.
just celebrating that he's actually caught something.
It could be a feather. Could be a feather. We don't have the sub mic
Yeah,
on.
Snickers.
Snicker's going to be
Yeah,
our
Snicker's
best
going to
judge.
have to determine that. Determine it indeed. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Quinton's just excited. Yes, I caught something. Yeah, there's a nick there. Well done, Quinny. You beauty.
Well done, Quinny.
Oh, great
That's
review, Captain Quinton. Sure.
And Nokia gets a
Wow.
wicket.
Well, so there's the one wicket that we wanted. He's upset is Kusal Pereira. I don't know, maybe it's with himself because he kind of stepped towards the leg side to give himself room to play that through the offside. But that is the end of the Lankans' fighting innings. 64 from 87. Really great stuff from him. But like Mpo said, this is probably the beginning of the end for the Lankans.
Hasaranga in the previous innings scored about 34 runs. It is his debut, but obviously he also had a little bit of an injury yesterday. So he's obviously with him. Then you have Vishwa Fernando, and then you probably have the three players who are injured. So it's going to be quite an interesting to see how he's going to go about things. Is he going to give us a swashbuckling innings, or just a or try and rotate the strike?
I'd love to see them get a lead of about 30 and then just go mad at the Proteas openers. I'd love to see that, just for the sake of entertainment value.
For the sake of Test cricket, we want our 2 innings. We came here for 2 innings. We want 2 innings. Thank you.
And
Exactly.
But as you said, beginning of the end here. What we've got going for us now is a lot more discipline than in the first inning. So a lot less freebies. So unfortunately, Dave, I don't think if the bowling continues the way it's continuing now, I don't think that the Sri Lankans will make runs as quickly as they did yesterday, or many runs at all. That's as someone was predicting yesterday, this could be an innings victory for the Proteas.
Wanindu Hasaranga is the new man at the wicket. He's got 300s to his name in first-class cricket. But like Mpo said, he came through with a handy 30 in the first innings.
So
As somebody who
some,
did after this one, I'll give you some tweets. Nokia forcing the back foot shot there in the end, and wonderfully bowled there by the South African speedster. Go for Mpo.
Okay. As you saw with that one, was Hasaranga was limping as he was coming down the wicket. Mayur Priyanath is saying that Dustin Shanaka is a student of Jayasuriya and Sangakkara. He also says, "Did you take your lunch, dear gentlemen?" And then Dustin Shanaka is a key man in the Sri Lanka team, with a key. So thank you for that. Please do send in your tweets as well on Twitter and all your comments on YouTube.
Next one is driven hard and right hand stop there. Wonderfully stopped in the end. If he couldn't take the catch, it's a great stop there by Markram at the gully. That is the end of the over. 1-1-5 for 5. Don't forget, you can tweet us at Guerilla SA, GUERILLASA, and the hashtag SAVSL.
Good thing with that dismissal of Kusal is that Quinny finally gets a review right.
Yeah, as well. We are speaking of the tweets. We have 2 tweets here. One from Otto Simon. Get Pamela in now to clean up. All the danger men are gone, and he can get a couple here or whatever is actual left.
This will be the 9th over that Vian Mulder will be bowling.
Is he bowling another one?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Hectic. We have another
right.
tweet
Mulder
here
in again and just hit the bat, no run.
But this is madness. This is what is going on?
Why is Palmer bowling? He's there to bowl. Give him a ball. Many questions for the presser, I must say. We have another tweet here from Anis Mohammed, just giving us some clarity on the approaches. The Aussie approach used to be, with regards to the batters, guys with at least 7 or 8 years first class experience, and subcontinental is find 17 or 18-year-olds with talent and throw them into the Lions, and let them grow into the spot. So yeah, I think the South African approach is close to the Australian approach. We use people that are tried and tested and not just go for the natural talents. But what do you guys think?
The Australian
Hasaranga just
approach.
drives that one to middle no run.
But I
Yeah,
think the Australian approach with like probably 4 to 5 years of domestic cricket experience. I don't think we have a 17-year-old who can just
in
come
once again and left alone through the Quinny no run. Yeah, I agree. I think the Australian, Mpho, I agree with you. I think the Australian method has been effective, especially I think when you grow up on batting friendly pitches, you generally tend to be able to find your feet in international cricket a little bit without overly being tested, and then by the time you do get tested, either you have technique flaws or technical flaws rather, or you're set in your career. So that one's left alone way too wide there to go after. When you grow up on bowling friendly pitches, and especially seaming pitches, I think it's so incredibly difficult to come into the test arena and then immediately just find your feet when most of your home tracks are seamer friendly. You very quickly will be found out if you're not where you need to be.
I'm backing the Australian approach as well. You just don't want to end people's careers prematurely, because you have a situation where, sorry, ball by ball.
This one has caught the edge of the bat and it's gone over the slip cordon, diving men in the third slip gully region, but nobody gets a hand to it and it goes to the boundary for 4. That's 2 opportunities in that region. How difficult they may have been, it's not so convincing. It's not so simple to say. We just have a look here at the replay. It's a full-blooded. It's not a full-blooded drive. It's just a defense, and it's gone agonizingly over the top of Markram at gully as Elgar looks like a jockey trying to jump over a hopscotch set up there.
That's hilarious. He's got his legs up very well. It looks very good. Very nice.
Cut away the next ball, up and over backward point. That's race to the boundary. 1 bounce. Forcer. End of the over. 1, 2, 3, 5.
Oh, that's a poor ball.
That was a poor ball. That was a bit of a loose. Now I was about to commend Mulder for his consistency, for keeping the slip cordon in the game, despite bowling for over an hour now, which is very impressive. Yeah, now you can see the screws are coming loose just a little bit. But yes, as I was saying, the South African approach, give people, blood them first. Otherwise, you could end careers early now. They get into the international stage and then they're scarred. And yeah, there goes a whole international career. Promising player that just need a bit more nurturing. Didn't get the attention that they needed. And that's heartbreaking, in all honesty.
Started the new over from Nokia and it's just left alone outside the off stump.
But I think like with India, with Shabnam Gill, he's had a great start. Obviously now you need to do the work behind the scenes. And also for Prithvi Shaw, you can't just think that this is the last India have seen of him. But I think from a technical perspective, you get guys like Keegan Peterson, Reinhard van Tonder. There's so many. We've got so many top order batsmen in South Africa. Carl Verena's more middle order. So obviously he's looking to usurp Timber in that number 6 position. And he's also
I think he can bat a lot higher than he could. I think he could bat at 4.
Have you seen the Cobras this season? They look horrible.
I have.
And Carl Verena's the only one saving them.
That's what I'm saying. He's the only one. Yeah.
Zubair Hamza as well. I think he's been the unlucky one because his franchise hasn't been able to play at Newlands after that first round, and we've already had like 5 rounds of cricket already, and so it's really tough for a back.
Yeah, there was a bumper from Nokia there to Shanaka, no run.
Yeah, I've just asked some questions on Twitter to see if we could get a a response on why Sepamla isn't bowling. Maybe there's a question I can ask the Proteas media manager.
My favorite thing is that we've just seen Kusal Pereira sitting on a chair that says, "Do not sit here." There's a giant red sticker behind him. Nokia with a fuller one on the pads, and it's whipped away through the backward square region, and Sepamla does the fielding there in the deep. The man has spent the whole day in the deep. Let him have a ball.
Let him have a ball, guys. Come on. No, he deserves better than this. After lockdown, come on, Oaks. Come on, let's get him something to make him smile. But hey, he mustn't be sitting on those chairs, actually.
Anyway, different rules for different falls, I guess. 1, 2, 4, 4, 5.
Yes, it's the Sri Lanka trail by 101 with 30 minutes to go to lunch. South Africans will probably want to get a wicket here.
2 left in this Nokia over. That beats the bat. Wow, what a delivery. Square him up as Nokia. Wonderful bit of bowling there.
We didn't get a lot of those in the first innings. It's a very nice ball. This enforcer role of Amrit Nokia needs to end. He can bowl at full and he can challenge top order batsmen.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that we're not going for the bouncing people out technique. The plan is keeping it closer to the stumps, getting the stumps at play, just beating the bats.
Gully backward point waiting, and this one beats everybody between third slip and gully. So no chance there for a South African wicket at the end of that Nokia over. He's gone for 47 in his 9, just the 1 wicket. The trail by 97, 128 for 5.
So that's the end of that over. Mixed bag from Amrit Nokia, some good balls, some bad balls, balls that got the edge and went through. But one thing that the South Africans will be happy with is that Hasaranga's foot movement looks non-existent. So I'd like to see them as we see finally. Hooray! If I'm going to get the first side of Luto Sepamla.
Luto. Yeah, that last one was shortish and just fended at. And, again, there's a gap there. Why not put a 4th in? If you're going to ball that line and that length, which there's nothing wrong with it, you just got to be aggressive if you want to take wickets. Sepamla now at the start of his mark. He's racing in, passing the umpire. Maria Erasmus. This is full and on leg stump, and it's been whipped away through the onside. And Nokia can finally field because everybody's been doing it for his bowling.
Yeah, that's VAR 8. Yeah, we're seeing a lot more consistency, which I'm loving to see. The plan is getting it on the stumps. And as Pamela comes in here. What did I want to say? And so Pamela just bowls one that goes comfortably into Quinton de Kock's hand for no run there. As we wait for Dave. Dave, you still there?
No. I don't think he
okay,
is.
We lost Dave.
Yeah, but you've got ball by ball there, my man. So just carry on.
Yeah. So Pamela rearing in for his 3rd ball of the over, and this one just outside off stump. Oof! Beats a punch off the back foot, and Quinton de Kock catches that one. So Pamela looking really good. Here in his first spell of the innings. Glad to see him finally getting the ball. Hopefully we get a few more strikes here, a few more wickets. And just in terms of slip, just beats the bats. Just in terms of getting the slip caught into play, with this discipline, definitely I would like to see us back up our bowlers a lot more here. We don't have a lot of runs that we're trying to protect here. We're not trying to drive the runs here. I think we should strike early with a lot more slips. What do you think, Umpo?
No, obviously, you need the fielders to kind of back it up and just stop the making it easy for the Sri Lankan batsmen. You still need to keep up the pressure, and that's the tough part about bowling first change, is that you need to keep that same pressure, or even pile on a little bit more pressure than what your opening bowlers did.
And the last ball was just squeezed behind square for a single. They are not quite the run-out opportunity, but Sri Lanka sitting on 130 for 5 at the moment. And yeah, definitely the first change bowler needs to keep the pressure going. And glad to see that there's consistent lines here, or at least closer to the off stump, just like this one, just above the off stump, just above that 4th stump line. This one is just blocked, square of the wicket to cover for no run. But with this cushion, with this cushion of 95 runs, you think the South African should be a lot more aggressive with only 5 wickets in hand, or it could even be much less than 5 wickets? What do you think their approach should be?
I think we should be working on the premise that the 3 big injuries from yesterday, De Silva, Kumara, and Rajita, will not come out to bat.
Spamla comes in here, and this one just outside off stump once again, bouncing off a length, carrying very nicely into Quinton's hands. And that is the end of Sipamla's first over. Only 2 off it. Sri Lanka sitting on 130 for 5.
Yes, a very good over from Luto Sipamla. 2 runs coming off of that, outside the off stump, testing the batsman. And it's what we wanted to see, and I kind of feel that we waited so late to see this man, and the South African team obviously going with the 3 more experienced bowlers, and giving Luto this final 20 minutes before lunch to show what he can do.
Do you think it's a case of earning his stripes, as you mentioned, the 3 more experienced bowlers getting the majority of the balls, and now not even first change, beyond first change, Sipamla comes in just to, get a few overs under his belt? Do you think that was the main cause for it, or do you think there's a grander plan here?
But I do think Mulder's been bowling really well. And so he needed to obviously get as many overs as he can up until he felt that it was enough. And I think that's what Quinn was trying to do.
I see Keshav Maharaj into the attack, the slow left armour, now just to slow the innings down, coming from around the wicket. And that one has been played to the covers for 1 run. Sri Lanka sitting on 131 for 1. And that was Hasaragna playing that cover drive shot.
Yeah, interesting that they're bringing Keshav on now, just to see. I think obviously the 3 quicks that were used are all tied, and so obviously Luto will be bowling in tandem with Keshav.
No, it was a good session's work from the 3 as well. So yes, Dave, it's good to have you back, Dave.
Thank you so much. That one was whipped off the legs of Shanaka there, as they are able to get through comfortably. I think Maharaj is just to do a holding role here, and maybe burglar wicket in tandem with Luto Sipamla ahead of the lunch break. Remember, it's just 20 minutes to go before the lunch break. Maharaj in now again for his 5th delivery. This is just defended. There's a man under the helmet and a man catching and slip. What are we going to do without Reinhard van Tonda under the helmet making some noise there? Last ball of his first over in this innings from Maharaj, and defended, and it's, goodness me, it's popped just wide of the man under the helmet, presumably Aiden Markram, who seems to be a professional man under the helmet like Hashim Amla before him. But that is the end of the over. Sri Lanka 133 for 5.
Yeah, Aiden Markram slightly slower to that ball there under the helmet. I'm not too sure if he is wanting to get the captaincy so he can run away from being that fielder at a short leg.
Normally the youngster goes under the dome, so I'm just trying to find out if Aiden's captain, then who goes under the dome?
Temba would have to go under the dome, unless if there's a youngster at number 3 or something that will go and field there.
Somebody like a Peterson Got to get him under the lid there. Under the lid. Sipamla in now, steaming, passing Maria Erasmus. This one squares up Hasaranga, catches the outside edge of the bat. And again, the men in the slips are too sparse. Social distancing. That's 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good ball there from Luto. Honing in on off stump, squaring up the batsman. Unfortunately resulting in a 4. But very good to see from a South African perspective.
Yeah, it's a peach. It's hitting top of off. There's nothing wrong with it. Just can't get it to go to hand.
Just looking at a wagon wheel of Hasaranga over here, we have 14 runs that are coming just behind square in that region where that ball went for 4. Literally 14 runs from there.
2 slips
4
and a
even
gully, and this
behind.
is short on the bounce to Markram as he has to jump up and defend that one. Carry on with your wagon wheel, sir.
That is literally the majority of the runs. Literally 18 runs are from behind square on the offside. So why not just stack the slips there? That is where all his runs are coming from. It seems like the good way to go. You're closing up the runs and you're getting some wickets.
Absolutely. It's been quite a porous gap in the field.
Even with all the men out there.
Absolutely. He's in once again as Sipamla, passing the umpire now. And this one slashed away and it's gone again. Begging the same area. Somebody put a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th slip in because
Somebody
it's gone
get
there
a
again.
slip in there. Please.
He's got 3 slips though.
He's got 3
And it went
slips.
through the gap between 3rd slip and gully this time.
But it's the same space every time.
Every time, Oaks. Now it's 8
That
runs
one,
through that area. It's crazy.
He's trying to cut that one or rather square drive it, and it's gone exactly where a 4th slip would have been. Elgar and Markram looking at each other forlornly.
The captain and the slip field.
No, it's captain. How many deliveries do you want to go through there before you realize, okay, cool, let's put a horse there? Because the gate's wide open. Let's at least, Anyway, in again is Sipamla. This one's driven too full from the South African speedster, but in the end, it just goes harmlessly to mid-off.
And you also want to be bowling to your field as well. So you'd expect that there'd be a lot more coverage there. But as we can see now, it's being plugged up. But somehow I just feel like they'll still be able to find a gap through there.
Give me a 4th. Give me a 4th and a gully. They're all just looking at each other, Markram and Elgar looking at each other like 2 lovers across a table, candlelit dinner. Anyway, Sipamla in once again. 2 to come. This is much better this time, and he's much straighter on the body there of Hasaranga, who's wincing in pain as he walks away to a point region to collect his thoughts.
Don't forget that you guys can tweet us and also comment on our YouTube channel. You can tweet us at Guerilla SA. I'll be reading out our tweets here. I'm always keen to hear what people have to say. Any questions you want to ask, great conversational topics here would be very much appreciated. So, yeah.
One more in this over, gents. I want to know any changes for the second test. Sipamla now passing the umpire, right arm over the wicket. There's a great delivery again and again. He squared up Hasaranga. He looks seriously uncomfortable. Does the Sri Lankan leg spin. End of that one, 141 for 5.
And as I was saying, we just got a tweet here from Anis Mohammed. I'm pretty sure that a person at 3rd man would be a good idea, right? I was literally thinking that very same thing. Just stack up the back there. Maybe even get a short 3rd man that could be a catching 3rd man. A very good idea in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Please repeat that. Sorry, just sorting out some admin this side.
No worries. I'm pretty sure that a person at 3rd man would be a good idea, right?
Maharaj to start his new over. This worked around the corner there. They've got to get a leg slip in. Sorry, I'm already on to the next over. I'm in the next fielding position. Get my leg. Now you see there's a bit of a change there. Wider mid-on for Maharaj as he comes left arm round the wicket to Shanaka. There's a chance for a run out. Oh, my word. What was that? I don't even know.
Not even a chance to run out. That was the drop.
Thumping.
Wait a
Ed
second.
Markram, the man under the pot. The man under the pot. So
Oh,
Shanaka's come down the wicket and he's just whipped that off his pads, and Markram has, who's actually in front of square. There's a bit of a chance
Just
gone
a
a begging there, I think. This one's just defended, and hands up high there from the men. Let's have a look at this one. So he comes down the wicket, and there's a drop catch because it goes essentially straight to where Markram was supposed to be going.
Yeah.
And then Quinton de Kock tries to come in and prevent him from stealing a run there, and misses with a no-look behind the body throw.
Oh, that was a drop. It went straight to his hands, but it went to him too quickly. Oh,
Guys,
they ran out of opportunity.
Aiden hasn't been under the helmet for a long time, so obviously cut him some slack.
Oh, no, 100%.
Absolutely. This
100%.
next one is just defended, and nothing there.
You can't be seen to be too good at your job there. They'll put you.
They'll leave you there.
there.
Amla and Bavuma were brilliant. That's the problem. Is you're too good. You got to take one catch under the helmet, defend it again, no run. You got to take one really good catch, a screamer under the helmet. Then they'll never put you there again. If you're really good, you end up being like Gary Kirsten. Your entire career is under the helmet. Last one in the Maharaj second, and this is just defended. That's the end of that one. If you're Australian, it's 5 for 141, but we're not, so it's 141 for 5.
Yeah, the way the normal people say it, please. Goodness gracious. That threw me off. First time watching cricket in Australia. It was very difficult. Yeah.
South Africa 3 for 1, and you're like, oh, that's not a bad start. Wait, what?
Turns out.
1 for 3. Just having a look at the Sri Lankan go of this test. There's not been much from them other than a couple of runs there from Chandimal and De Silva in the first innings. But with so many injuries, it's been difficult. I mean, Kusal Pereira has put up a valiant effort this morning, but once he was dismissed, only a matter of time, perhaps. Start of the next Pamela over, and this is just defended on the bounce to third slip.
Oops, my feet's falling behind. Sorry about that, gents.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Beginning of the end, Paul? Should the fat lady be warming up?
The fat lady be warming up? No, not yet. You know, with Sri Lanka, even when they're 9 down, they just do what they need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to make sure that we clean this innings up. But we also do have, we know that Rajita is not going to be batting and De Silva aren't batting. So are they effectively for 7 now instead of only for 5? That's the real question. And that's
actually
the thing.
For 8.
For 8 even.
Yes, because they're three players who Grant Flower, the assistant coach, felt that wouldn't come out to bat today.
So Pamela in again, and this one's, oh my word, what a wonderful delivery! It's he's hit the deck hard. It's not quick, not a express pace, but 133 k's. But it's just one that he's bent his back a little bit more and squared up the Lankan batsman there. Wonderful stuff.
And this is what I like about Luto compared to obviously Ngiti and Anna, is that he makes the batsman play. And in this spell, he's made the batsman play at majority of his balls. Yes, he's gotten edges through the slips, but that's an opportunity. Obviously, at other times, at other moments, those will go to hand. But he's made everybody, he's attacked the stumps, he's forced the batsman to play. And that's what's been missing in this game from the South African bowlers. I'm just a little bit questioning whether he should have actually come on once Ngidi had finished off his spell, because I think with Anna, it was a little bit, it wasn't too much.
That one was carved through the backward point region, and it means that Maharaj has to do some fielding, and they get through just for the 1.
We have a tweet here from Otto. He says, when watching cricket in Australia, you have to wait for the batting side to score 10 or more before you can be sure of what's going on. Facts. Facts.
You get duped
Imagine
into it.
growing up, watching cricket, you're still a young boy, and then all of a sudden you're seeing these scores and you're just like, no, this isn't how Coach John told us things worked. Just very confusing.
That one is just defended again. These two look seriously uncomfortable. More so, Shanaka. He's only faced. He's only got 6 from his 34 deliveries. It's difficult going for young Sri Lankan fast bowler. And I don't think these South Africans are going to take foot off the gas anytime soon.
And they shouldn't. They really shouldn't. There's an opportunity to end this game, like early. Even maybe take the extra 30 minutes.
Pamela's got the edge in the end there. Well done from the South African speedster. He's well vindicated in his decision. Is Quinton de Kock will bring him on. It's just a full-blooded drive there from Shanaka, and Quinton de Kock takes the catch, and everybody's got high fives all around. 142 for who knows how many.
142 for 6. Proper fast bowler's wicket. This is the stuff he wants. Pamela caught de Kock. Very good bowling. This man in the spell has made the batsman play at most of his balls. And this one, just another one, questioning Shanaka's foot movement there. Remember those balls Dev were talking about? We was hitting the deck hard. So he hit the deck hard. Put the Shanaka's feet in the proverbial toilet. And then he gave him a lovely one outside the off stump, and Shanaka couldn't move that front foot. Bat coming through, no weight behind that, and gets the edge, and another wicket for South Africa.
Oh, it's looking fantastic. A great bowling display from the South Africans. We're getting consistency. We're getting class. We're not getting wayward balls. Those 4 balls that we were complaining about yesterday that seem to plague every over seem to be a thing of the past, or seem to be way few and far between now. So I don't know what they had for breakfast, but I want some of that.
As we try to sort out our score.
Not a problem. That's he's pushed at that as has Shanaka, and Quinton de Kock taking a catch there that he just had to go to his right there. Van Edison was lurking there with his buckets that he would. Well, I don't know if you would consider Van Edison to have bucket hands, more like shot glass paws. But nevertheless, Quinton de Kock completes the catch in at number 8. Vishwa Fernando, the South Africans will be licking their chops here as they have the opportunity now to bowl to a real tail ender. And the most important part here with Sipamla and Maharaj bowling in tandem here is that they want to crowd the Sri Lankan batsmen. They want to make sure that there's a lot of noise in their ear, and they won't want to be letting up at all here. 3 slips a gully, catching forward point, mid off in place. Last ball, and this is fended off the hip of Fernando, and he will get some runs. Quinton de Kock is the man who has to do the work because there's nobody out there on the leg side, and it's leg buys. So Fernando is still not on strike, but they get through for 2 leg buys. 144 for 6. That's the end of Sipamla's third, and a wicket in that one.
Yes, a very good over from Luto Sipamla. Ravi Nair was talking about how South Africa are not playing with a fine leg these days to their quicks. So Quinton has to do a lot of the work on that leg side behind square.
And he seems happy to do that work as well. The amount of times you've seen Quinton de Kock fetch balls, it's good to see. It's good to see the dedication, backing his own plans, doing the work that's necessary. I like to see it.
Much cleaner day out for the South African bowlers today. Just the 9 extras from this outing. I think we saw in the first 2 innings, it was a shambles. Maharaj slip in place, and this one's cut to Lungi Gidi, who's at point. Now, that's something that you wouldn't usually see, but nevertheless, a competent man there. As Hasaranga, the leg spinner, is facing the left arm, left spin of Maharaj, who's in again, passing Adrian Holtstock. And this is Fuller. He's come down the wicket, and he's had to cut that because it's a little bit of a quicker one from the South African left armer. And he almost got caught with his pants down there.
Saranga throwing everything at Keshav Maharaj.
Absolutely. Quinny's suggesting that there's one that's going to pop up, so he just wants the mid-on slightly wider. This one means that Hasaranga has to step away from his leg stump and try and get that through the offside. Obviously not a man who's happy playing off his pads, but this is something that we're hoping that the South Africans can make the best out of. And if Maharaj can just drift it into that midland leg and turn it away. He does that now, a little bit shorter, more bounce than he would have probably wanted, as Ngiti does the cleaning up there at point. They there's no runs being scored here. It's still just a maiden so far.
That's what we love to see. We have another tweet here from Anis Mohammed. It says, at Guerilla Cricket SA, is this series...
Maharaj in again. This is swept up and over the cow corner region. Wonderful shot. I eat my hat because he's just had a wonderful leg side shot.
Why are you eating hats? Going on with the tweets, is this series part of the Test Championship, or have they thrown it all out of the cycle? If it's not part of the championship, then bring Steedman and Peterson and rest Van der Dussen and Nortje. I believe it is part of the championship. You can see by the numbers on the
Maharaj to finish here. He just defends on the bounce. There's a shy at the stumps. Is he going to hit? And it's going to be an interesting one there. It was a hurry up and wait there. It's a poor bit of fielding there from the South Africans. It should have been a lot more clinical.
Yeah, but a great presence of man from Van Mulder to pick the right end and also try and dolly it to Keshav. It came on the bounce, but Keshav managed to clean out the stumps. We're just going up for the umpire to give us a decision review. But yeah, so to answer Anis's question, yes, it's part of the World Test Championship, and even if it wasn't, it would have been.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out.
Yes.
Very comfortably as well.
Yes, and it looks like Kasun Rajita is probably going to come out as well. But yes. But the problem is that even if it wasn't the World Test Championship, we can't be moving around, making changes, because this team hasn't won a test match in 7 tries. And so you need to get these guys winning games first. A winning team has the ability to bring youngsters in. You can't be bringing youngsters into an environment where they don't even know, where no one knows how to win a test match. So I think so we're just waiting on Aludin Pelaka to let us know whether he's out, and he is. So that is Vishwa Fernando out for a duck.
Gone for a duck. He's faced one ball and he's been run out at the non-strikers and quack.
Yes.
Anissa replies to you, Umpo, saying, and while we're at it, why don't we just rest Quinton de Kock and bring in Keshele? Why not? Why not? One key for another.
Sinetemba's actually dropped down the pecking order quite a bit with his results last season and early on in the season. He needs to probably get into some runs for him to come into contention. Calvarena is in the side. He's another possible option. But yeah, Jen. So that is lunch on day 4. It looks like Kasuna Jita is going to be coming out to bat. We just saw him walking down the stairs, limping down the stairs. So that means it will be lunch with South Africa needing 7 wickets, and so it's 148 for 7. And Sri Lanka trailing South Africa by 77 runs. This session brought 5 wickets for 83 runs. We'll be back to our YouTube and Facebook viewers. We'll be back in 40 minutes time for the next session for South Africa to take the final 3 wickets, it seems. And so for our radio viewers, we'll be playing the lunch session on day 1 of this test match. So please do tune into that, and we'll be back in 40 minutes with the next set of commentators. Thank you very much, guys. We'll be seeing you on the other side of this broadcast.
Cheerio, baby.